Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So, I have some stuff that's heavy on my heart that I'd like to talk about. Um, I guess I'm going to make the first video a personal video. Actually, technically, both are personal, but this one in particular. And this is impromptu, so I'm looking Raggedy Ann right now. That's why I went ahead and threw on a filter. I'm not wearing any makeup except lip balm, per usual. But well, lip gloss, whatever. Anyway, so I am someone who, for whatever reason, one of my trauma responses or what have you, when I feel like someone has hurt me, is to repeat it over and over in my head. And I get stuck in the bad situation. So it's like someone could slap me one time, and by the time I'm done, they've slapped me 1,000 times. And it's so unhealthy that things are this way with me. And I know that this is an unhealthy trait. And by the way, this is hereditary, okay? Because someone close to me has this really bad too, where they will relive a traumatic episode as if it literally just happened, and it could be something that happened decades ago. Well, recently, without any therapy involved or anything, and I'm not knocking therapy, I'm just saying this is just me. This was a me thing. On my healing journey, I thought to myself, how long are you going to punish yourself? Like, how long are you going to hurt yourself? Like, you're hurting yourself. This isn't whoever you think you're mad at. This isn't them. You're hurting yourself. Whether it's an ex, whether it's, coworkers, friends, whoever, now you are hurting yourself when you relive that trauma over and over again. And particularly I'm not going to tell you about people you choose to keep, where I'm not going to unpack that. But these are the people who you have decided no longer are going to be in your life. I had an epiphany, and I was talking to a guy friend of mine about it. And I told him, I feel like I'm trying to bring these people from my past who hurt me into my present and my future where they don't belong. And it's not, and I don't mean that in shade. I mean that as in, if you listen to a lot of people who have been around for a long time, they understand, and I'm so sorry I'm talking slowly, but I'm getting my thoughts together. They understand that people come into different chapters in your life. And a lot of people, I would go so far as to say most people, are not meant to be with you throughout all the chapters of your story. They are there for a particular chapter or chapters. And, Tyler Perry and all his flaws, the Medea character in Medea Goes to Jail, the play, was describing things perfectly about, people come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And, saying you have people who are catching hell because people who were meant to be there in your life for a season, you tried to make them into a lifetime person. When those people were just there to, quote unquote, teach you something. And, I'm very big on the saying there's a thin line between love and hate. And usually what I mean is someone who I love, I can hate. But I think that it can go the other way around too, that sometimes people who I can hate or think I hate or dislike or whatever, it's almost like a form of love to want to keep them alive in my memory and my heart in a way that, to be quite frank, I shouldn't. And again, it's not about me trying to like be mean about them. It's that their time in my life is over. So why am I holding on to it? And I feel like in doing that, it blocks my own blessing, you know, or blessings, whatever. And this is just advice to those of you who are like me and you struggle to let it go when you've been wronged, baby. You know, you have to hold a funeral for your grief. I've had to hold a funeral for my grief and just like say, yes, this happened and it's okay. And there's so much more to life. I'm 42 years old. I hope to live a long life, God willing. Whatever I'm going through now is a blip in the grand scheme of things. You know, stop giving it more importance than it deserves. It's not about the people. It's about, you know, what you're doing to yourself. You know, you're hurting you more than they ever could. And or more than I'll say more than they did. You know? So let that shit go. I know it's hard, and this is coming from someone who struggles to let go. But you can do it. You can do it. You know, delete the text messages. Delete unless you need it for something serious, then delete that shit. Okay? Delete the pictures, delete that shit. For real. Let that go. That's my personal opinion, you know. And I had to learn that the hard way. So it just finally came to me because it's something that I've struggled with for a really long time. And I just realized, and it's not just like one particular situation, it's multiple things. And I just realized, I'm like, I have to hold a funeral for my grief and I have to let it go. You know, life is for living. And I'm holding on to dead things when I'm holding on to my grief and my pain of the past. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.